In a land sculpted by ice and silence, survival is no gentle feat. It's a test of instinct, endurance, and heart. Among snow-laden trees and frozen winds, a lone figure moves with purpose. Her name is Luna, a silver-coated she-wolf, eyes gleaming like fire against frost. She leads not just with strength, but with wisdom, the alpha of her pack, their compass through the wilderness. At dawn, her howl shatters the still air, a wild anthem rolling across the landscape. It's more than a sound. It's a summons, a promise, a warning. Join Luna as we trace her steps through frost and shadow, learning what it truly means to be a wolf. Where the cold claws at your bones and hunger waits behind every tree, how does a mother guide her pack through the storm? This is no ordinary tale. It's the story of a wild matriarch, a warrior, a nurturer, a survivor of the North. Each howl carries its own message, distinct and unmistakable, like a voice print written on the wind. Some calls gather the scattered, others defend what's hers. These echoes stretch across vast, snowy woods, traveling for miles. Scientists have captured howls that almost feel like dialogue, back and forth exchanges, as if wolves were holding distant conversations across the trees. At 6 years old, Luna is the backbone of her pack, a tight-knit group of 6 wolves that trails her every move like shadows clinging to light. As the alpha, she's not just a figure of strength, but of strategy. Every path they take, every hunt they plan, every moment of pause, it all flows from her judgment. Her gray coat gleams beneath the muted winter sun, and her amber eyes seem to scan beyond what the eye can see. But being a leader isn't just about muscle. It's about patience, foresight, and control. Take the 2 youngest wolves in the group, brothers, full of energy and absolutely no sense of caution. They tumble through the snow, nipping and crashing into each other like unruly teenagers discovering their legs. One of them even launched a sneak attack on a snowdrift, only to end up with a face full of powder and a look that said, "No one saw that, right?" These 2 are the future, but for now, they're more chaos than contribution. Still, Luna doesn't waver. While the young ones frolic, she's alert, sniffing the wind for any hint of prey or predators. Because out here, joy is fleeting, and hunger waits in silence. She knows this truth better than anyone. Luna isn't just the alpha. She's the pulse that keeps the pack alive, the steady beat in the middle of the storm. And the storm is just getting started. The snow may look like a soft white blanket draped over the forest. But to Luna, every paw step is a calculated move. This landscape, though stunning, is laced with risk. Today's hunt isn't simply about tracking something to eat. It's about choosing wisely. One wrong target could waste precious energy, or worse, cost a life. In this world, survival doesn't reward the fastest. It favors the most mindful. Luna leads her pack through the forest with quiet determination until they reach a clearing. A place where deer often wander, unsuspecting. Then, without warning, the wind turns. A faint scent rides the breeze. Deer, fresh, close. The shift in energy is immediate. Muscles tense, eyes sharpen. This is the moment. No words, no sounds, only instinct. One glance from Luna, and the plan is in motion. Each wolf knows their part. By the time the deer senses danger, it's already too late. The chase is swift, fierce. There's no chaos, only precision. When it ends, there's no howling, no thrill of victory, just breath, just survival. Luna exhales slowly. Tonight, they will eat. That's enough. But in this moment, more than hunger is satisfied. There's a quiet pride. Out here, there are no medals, only moments that prove your worth. And today they've earned another. Wolves are not reckless hunters. Their tactics are complex, often resembling a well-rehearsed routine. They read body language, notice weakness, and adapt their approach. Sometimes they'll split up, flanking a target from multiple sides. Other times they'll test a herd, nudging, watching, evaluating. If a deer appears too strong, the pack may retreat. Not out of fear, but calculation. Because in the wild, energy is everything. Intelligence is just as crucial as strength. After the hunt, a hush settles over the woods. But Luna stays alert. Something stirs within her. Not hunger, but memory. A scent she hasn't smelled in seasons. Something old, almost forgotten. She steps away from the others, drawn by instinct, until she reaches a crooked tree. Its bark is scarred by deep claw marks, a message left long ago. And Luna remembers. The wild never forgets its stories. Years ago, right here beneath this twisted tree, Luna faced her greatest loss. Her first litter, 3 fragile lives, taken by a winter that came too soon and hit too hard. No matter how fiercely she fought, she couldn't shield them. That night, she howled until her voice gave out. And ever since, whenever the forest feels too quiet, she finds herself drawn back to this place. Luna lowers her body onto the snow just for a moment. Her eyes close. The wind whispers across her fur, gentle but cold, like a memory brushing past her. She doesn't dwell in the past, but she carries it. It's what sharpens her instincts and softens her decisions. Every choice she makes now is laced with lessons once paid in pain. When she returns to the pack, her gaze is steady. This time, her pups are safe. The young ones are learning. And Luna? Luna is still here, still standing. The wolves gather close, curling into one another beneath the open sky, warmth shared in silence. In moments like this, survival feels less like instinct and more like emotion. Something harder to define, but impossible to ignore. It's connection, it's tenderness. It's what turns a group of hunters into a family. Because strength may lead a pack, but it's bond that keeps it alive. One of the younger wolves nudges Luna's muzzle with a gentle lick. She responds with a quiet nose touch. To us, it may seem small, but out here, in the rawness of the wild, that is love. As the full moon climbs slowly into the night sky, the pack rises. One by one, voices join the wind. The beta begins, then the adolescence, and finally, Luna. Their howls slice through the cold like arrows through still air. But this sound is more than just communication. It's remembrance, longing, a melody echoing the past, anchoring the present, and reaching toward the future. Wolves are deeply emotional creatures. Scientific studies reveal lifelong bonds among them. True loyalty. They grieve, they comfort, and when one is lost, they sometimes return to the place of goodbye, lifting their voices to the empty air, as if calling back a friend they refuse to forget. These moments aren't just instinct. They're evidence of a complex emotional world, richer than we ever expected. Hunger has been lurking in the shadows. It's been 2 days since the last successful hunt. By dawn, the forest shifts uneasily. The earth vibrates with quick steps, but it's not wolves. A small herd of elk moves swiftly. To Luna, this is no coincidence. It's a window of survival. She leads her wolves alongside the herd's path, always downwind. No sound, no scent, no mistake. They move like shadows across the white. Moments later, the snow bears witness. Tracks torn, breath heavy, hearts pounding. The hunt is over. The young wolves gasp for air, their sides heaving. One collapses dramatically onto the snow, tongue hanging, eyes wide, as if to say, "That was the wildest run of my life." Luna doesn't smile. She watches. She absorbs. She instructs. And when it's time to approach the fallen prey, she lets the young ones go first. They must learn. Every bite is earned. With effort, with strategy, and sometimes with pain. Tonight, with their bellies full and the pack close, the forest feels a little less merciless. At least, for now. The golden light of dusk slices through the treetops like silent blades, brushing against the snow and turning white into shimmering silver. On a high rock, Luna stands tall. Below her, the pack rests, bellies full, breath calm, eyes half closed in rare peace. It's one of those fleeting moments when everything feels right, when danger retreats and the forest feels kind. But Luna doesn't relax. Not completely. She never does. She knows too well what winter hides in its frozen breath. She's met the forest's oldest ghosts: hunger, isolation, and something worse. Man. Not the kind with claws or fangs, but with wheels and wires. With machines that flatten trails, cut down ancient giants, and replace bird calls with engines. More than any predator, man rewrites the rules, changing seasons, silencing rivers, leaving scars no snowfall can erase. But tonight, Luna lets that thought drift away with the snowflakes. The storm hasn't come yet. Not tonight. Snow falls gently now, lazy and soft, while the wind weaves music through bare branches. A lullaby from a forgotten time. And then she howls. Not in fear, not in warning, but in presence. A bold sound that rises to the stars and sinks into the soil. "I'm still here," it says. Still leading, still breathing. And somewhere in the distance, an answer comes. Maybe another wolf, maybe the wind, echoing her voice back like a promise. But to Luna, it means everything. Tomorrow, they'll move on. Tomorrow, survival begins again. But for now, under a sky sprinkled with ice and fire, they've won a small battle. And in a world where species vanish before we even know their names, where forests turn into freeways, Luna and her pack remind us, nature hasn't given up. She still fights. She still sings. So next time a howl reaches your ears on a cold night, don't think of monsters. Think of mothers, of protectors, of quiet leaders like Luna, holding the wild together, one breath at a time. And maybe, just maybe, her story can spark something in us. Not nostalgia, but responsibility. Because when the last wolf is gone, the silence that follows is colder than any snowstorm. If this journey touched your heart the way it touched ours, let us know. Drop a comment sharing what part of Luna's path moved you most. Like this video. It's a simple way to show that you care about wild lives and wild lands. And subscribe, because more incredible stories are coming your way. Share this with that friend who loves animals, forests, and real-life heroes. And remember, the wilderness is full of Lunas, all waiting to be seen, all needing someone to listen, and someone to protect.